In the Hardaway Southern T, back with another EP. Y'all do your boy a favor as you roll on in. Y'all smash that like button for your boy. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Today I'm here with a story that I've been keeping up with. For a minute, been kind of following it, keeping tabs on it. Conor Benn and Keith Thurman. There's been rumors lingering around. Rumors mainly because Eddie Hearn started these rumors. You know what I mean? Eddie Hearn said that he was interested. Eddie Hearn was good, Skywalker. Just do. Appreciate you sliding through this. John TWT in the building. Eddie Hearn said weeks back that he was interested in making a Conor Benn versus Keith Thurman fight. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on there. He said that he was interested in making a Conor Benn versus Keith Thurman fight. And of course, you know what I mean? Me, myself, and most people are all on board, for this Keith Thurman versus Conor Benn fight. I stated earlier that this fight makes sense for both people. Conor Benn and Keith Thurman, both guys are ranked in the top 5. We got a young guy, trying to make a name for himself in the game. And we got Keith Thurman, who's trying to keep himself at the top of the division in the game. So a win over Conor Benn, top 5 opponent, will be a great win for Keith Thurman. And a win over Keith Thurman for Conor Benn will be a great step-up fight, a great way to prove that you belong in the 147-pound division. It'll get a lot of critics answer for Conor Benn as well as Keith Thurman. With Conor Benn, do you belong in a division? Are you a hype job? Are you real? Are you a real boxer? Type deal for Keith Thurman. Is it time for you to retire? Is it time for you to move on? Is it time for you to get out the way and let these young guns, have a go? So this fight, will make perfect sense for both fighters, for both champions involved in this fight. Conor Benn or Keith Thurman. You know what I mean? So this is the fight, that I'm looking for, the fight that I'm hoping for. Eddie Hearn came out this week and said be expecting a big announcement. You know what I mean, from him. Now I'm guessing that it's going to be Keith Thurman versus Conor Benn. I'm guessing that there's going to be the announcement. You know what I mean? That Eddie Hearn is going to make. You know what I mean? But Eddie Hearn also said that if the fight with Keith Thurman didn't materialize, he said this a while back. He said if the fight with Keith Thurman didn't materialize, then Mo Hooker will be seen as a plan B, for the Keith Thurman situation. Now, in the perfect world, we'll get Keith Thurman versus Conor Benn, and it'll just be that on that. You know what I mean? Listening to Eddie Hearn said that we could be expecting big fight news. You know what I mean, from Conor Benn at the end of this year, and then he also said like a couple weeks ago that we should be expecting a fight announcement soon. You know what I mean, for Conor Benn. So hopefully we're about to get this Conor Benn versus Keith Thurman announcement. You know what I mean? But he's Eddie Hearn has also, geared us up, got us ready for, an opponent if the Keith Thurman fight was to fall through. And the opponent, the backup opponent would be Mo Hooker. Mo Hooker hadn't been in the ring since his last fight versus Jose Ramirez, if I'm not mistaken. No, Mo Hooker came back and he fought Virgil Ortiz. He came back and he fought Virgil Ortiz after he fought Jose Ramirez. Uh, Virgil Ortiz stopped Maurice Hooker, in his return fight. You know what I mean? In Mo Hooker's return fight, Mo Hooker hasn't been in the ring since, that Virgil Ortiz fight last year. Now we're hearing that he may be stepping in the ring with Conor Benn if the Keith Thurman fight, doesn't go all the way through. Now, I'm pretty sure. Now, I think Mo Hooker is, a decent opponent for Conor Benn with where he's at right now. You know what I mean? Of course, we want to see the Keith Thurman fight, right? That's the bigger fight. That's the best fight, available. We want to see them, but I understand, if Mo Hooker has to come in, the thing that I'm worried about is with Keith Thurman. You know what I mean? If he don't fight this Conor Benn fight, the thing I'm most interested in is who will Keith Thurman be fighting next. You know what I mean? I've been hearing rumors about Keith Thurman maybe fighting Conor Benn, Keith Thurman maybe fighting Jerome Boots Ennis, or either of those two fights. You know what I mean? Work for me type deal. I also heard a little rumbling about Keith Thurman and your Daniels Ugas. You know what I mean? So if this fight isn't to materialize, for these two fighters, Conor Benn more than likely is to fight Mo Hooker, and Keith Thurman's opponent is still up in the air. But I will be a little disappointed if this fight, doesn't happen, if this fight doesn't transpire between Keith Thurman and Conor Benn, because I just think it makes too much sense for both parties involved for these two guys, not to get in the ring and these guys, not to fight. This is a winnable fight for both guys, which is why I'm so interested, in it. It's a winnable fight, for both guys. I don't really like mismatches. It's a fight between the best versus the best. Now, whether you feel like these two guys are one of the best or not, that's your opinion. But if we're looking at it, if we're looking at by ranking system, then hell yeah, of course, these are two of the highest ranked boxers. You know what I mean, in the welterweight division, and most of these ranking systems, Conor Benn is top five. So is you know what I mean, Keith Thurman. Worldwide, Keith Thurman is a top five welterweight. You know what I mean? Worldwide, Keith Thurman is a top five welterweight type deal. Always been seen that way, has been seen as one of the top welterweights. You know what I mean? For a minute, you know what I mean, type deal. So if Conor Benn was to get this win over Keith Thurman, or even just get this fight with Keith Thurman, not many people would have, a problem with it. There are some people out here who just hard to please in general. They'll have a problem with whoever Conor Benn fight. They have a problem with whatever Keith Thurman do. Some people you just can't, satisfy type deal. You know what I mean? But be on the lookout this week, because Eddie Hearn said that this week, be expecting a big announcement, due to Conor Benn. One thing I will give Conor Benn credit for, because I am consistent over here on Southern T. One thing I will give Conor Benn a lot of credit for is Conor Benn has been, consistent, especially over the last 3 or 4 fights within his career. He's been really consistent. You know what I mean? Uh what this will be his third fight within 365 days, if I'm not mistaken. When they come and they announce, the new fight, this will be his third fight in about, in under 365 days for Conor Benn. So shout out Conor Benn. I see the growth from Conor Benn. I see where like his first 10 fights compared to his last 11 fights. It's a big difference. You know what I mean? This fight with Keith Thurman, it makes perfect sense, because this isn't a fight that I just straight up think, Conor Benn is going to win. Keith Thurman is not no slouch. Keith Thurman is still, one of the best in the game. He's still on his A game. He showed you that in the Mario Barrios fight. He was coming off a layoff in the Mario Barrios fight. He came into the Mario Barrios fight and he didn't miss a beat. Shout out my guy Isaiah Felix. We just sliding through this joint. Isaiah Felix, glad you can make it, pimp. He didn't miss a beat. You know what I mean, in that Mario Barrios fight. So Keith Thurman versus Conor Benn, I expect it to be fireworks. You know what I mean? I expect that to be what's good, Mr. Pat? I expect that to be, fireworks between Thurman and Benn. You know what I mean? I think Benn is at the point in his career. Where we no longer want to see Benn fight a prospect. We no longer want to see Benn fight, a journeyman. We no longer want to see Benn fight a journeyman. You know what I mean? A lot of people have a problem with Benn calling out, older guys instead of, the young guys in and around his weight class. And I can't even knock him for that. I can't even knock them for that. You know what I mean? But this fight with Keith Thurman will check all the boxes for Keith Thurman, and it will check all the boxes for Conor Benn. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all jab that like button for your boy when you roll on in. Greatly appreciate it. If it's your first time, don't make it your last time. If you could, jab that like button for your boy as you roll on in. I'm in here, telling y'all to be on the lookout, for announcement soon. Could be as early as today when pertaining Conor Benn's next fight. And if we lucky, if everything happens the way that it's supposed to happen, Conor Benn's next fight will be Keith Thurman. You know what I mean? But be on the lookout for the next fight, David Avanesian. David Avanesian is in the fight as well. People were saying, that's the reason why Avanesian and Victor Ortiz fell out, is because David Avanesian, was rumored to fight Conor Benn as well. You know what I mean? But that's not the fight that I'm hoping for. I'm not going to lie to y'all. In this one, I'm hoping that the Keith Thurman fight, is more realistic. I'm also hearing that Mo Hooker is the plan B. David Avenesian, or is the rumor, but they can't really say, because if David Avenesian pulled out of a contractual fight with Virgil Ortiz to fight Conor Benn, that will be against the rules, because a lot of people forget that Virgil Ortiz and David Avenesian were set to fight, but their contract fell through, and those guys ended up fighting other people. You know what I mean? So David Avenesian is a guy that I've heard his name in the rumor mill when it comes to Conor Benn. You know what I mean? But I guess we just got to wait and see. You know what I mean when it comes to this. But expect the announcement this week for Conor Benn's next opponent. You know what I mean? Eddie Hearn said they're doing their due diligence to get Keith Thurman. But if they can't get Keith Thurman, Mo Hooker will be seen as a plan B. We also have the David Avenesian, rumors rolling around, so they give us something to look at as well. But again, I'm here for a good time, not a long time on this Southern Tea. Y'all do your boy a favor, y'all smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, Skin Hardaway Southern Tea. This ain't the past, this ain't the future, this the present. That's how we rocking. And I'm out. Love.